Hi, my name is Sam Johnson and I'm a voice teacher. Today I'm going to be reacting to and analyzing a compilation of Rihanna's best live vocals.
Everywhere, man, looking for someone who can please me, love me all night long. I've been everywhere, man, looking for you, babe, searching for you, babe. When have you been? 'Cause I never see you out.
She's so intense. She got a little bit strained as it went on, but she had a really good vowel for most of that. Underneath it, it was this ground instead of gra. It was just gra, and that vowel is so awesome. It's kind of my favorite vowel, actually. I think if we have that or like more of an underneath all of our vowels, just singing is easier. It's just a lot easier. She has that. It makes it have this richer sound underneath everything while she's still letting it move up into her head, so we get that upper kind of ping to her voice. It's a balanced sound. It doesn't sound too tinny or too deep.
And I know that you're on tonight. How could I be so selfish? But you go about 1,000 times, wondering where I've been.
Oh, those harmonies were nice.
Now I know that you're home tonight. How could I be so reckless? But I just can't apologize. Hope you can understand.
Her runs through all of this are so clean and fun, and I love that you can hear little imperfections in her voice that prove that yes, she is singing this live, and that she's okay with that, like that time when the other voices came in, and she kind of broke for a second because of how good it sounded. I like things like that. It's like when people break on SNL. Those are kind of the most fun times when things go kind of weird, and if you can like live with that rather than trying to just run from whatever's weird on stage, it gives you a lot more confidence. You don't have this anxiety of having to have everything be perfect all the time. It's just whatever you do is the right move and you kind of run with it. Her voice just sounds really nice through all of this. She's going right up above her first bridge, all the way up to like the D, which is above her second bridge, and it doesn't sound hard. There might be a little bit of extra compression in her voice that if we were looking for a perfectly balanced vocal production, I would try to maybe get rid of that, but it helps her get the style that she wants. So as long as it's sustainable, which I think it is, and the voice coach that she works with is amazing, just one of the best people in the world in this industry, and she's getting really good help. She knows what she's doing. There's more of that tonight. Still more of that Yeah, part of her style is just overdriving that amount of compression that she has in her voice so that it breaks, but stylistically. It's a similar thing to what Sia does a lot of the time. They find this place that works really well, they go right to the edge of it, and then introduce a little bit of chaos, and it's a really cool effect. And then she kind of goes back and forth between this more back sound, like on the where she actually does let it fall back and it gets more of this sultry or deep sound to it. And then when she goes to this more nasty kind of nasal place, more forward, everything just contrasts between them. But she's using them at special times. She's not just like randomly throwing one of them out. She's using them because she knows that that's what will tell the story best at this time, or because she knows that when she goes to the higher notes, that's usually when it ends up going a little bit more nasal, because it helps everything roll over into a good place that's easy to produce.
Baby, I'm a masterpiece.
And then she lets a little bit of like extra nasality and stuff come into her voice sometimes, which is just a style choice. I think she could do it without it also. Then she flips. But it's still a pretty forward sound. That actually sounds kind of like a Beyonce run. That's really nice. That time, if there was any pitchiness, it's because her vowel just got a little bit tighter through it. So if she went more towards that that she was using before, I don't think that it would have that like right on the edge of being sharp feeling that it has right now. But that's kind of one of the things that you run into when you're playing with adding too much compression for effect. It might start getting tight on you. It might get sharp some of the time, but she's doing it because her intention is the communication aspect of it, not to have flawless vocal technique all the way through. However, if at the end of the song she was starting to feel a little tight or something, that's one of the places that might be worth looking into, is every time that it goes to more of the ah instead of ah. Yeah, she's just pulling up a little bit of extra chest voice with all of it. But she's getting enough rollover when she goes to the next part that it doesn't break. She's able to make this transition okay, but she is introducing this element of pull to get this intense sound that she wants. I think it probably is sustainable for a little bit every time, but if you were singing for 2 hours at a time like that and just pulling up right up to your first bridge without letting it roll over and start mixing in more head tone, it starts getting really hard. On the you notice she didn't actually say a true live without you. It wasn't like this really closed you. She modified it. That really closed vowel just wants to break. It's a hard vowel to sing, so she kind of dropped the jaw, let it go to more of a yo. That's okay. We still understand it as you. She sounds more relaxed in this one. She sounds really, really good in this session. No, that's when it works so well for her. Now, she's just a little bit more relaxed with it. This whole part, she's kind of putting everything more in this kind of place. She's letting her lips pout a little bit, which just gets everything this rounder, kind of darker sound. If we open everything up and let the top teeth show, rather than kind of covering it like this, it's just a different tone. It's interesting hearing her go from that more open, brighter tone a second before, and then purposely making everything a little bit deeper and a little bit funkier. Now it's a lot more forward. That was interesting. She started the bottom a little bit rounder, a little bit of that deeper sound, which is actually closer to how maybe a classical tenor might do things, where the bottom becomes this beefier kind of sound. Not beefier, just rounder. And then as they start going up higher, it generally becomes a brighter sound, which is why you hear the G through the C is just super, super pingy. It's up in their head at that point. She's doing the same kind of thing, where the bottom is just deeper, goes up, becomes more in her head, even though it's not super, super high in it. She starts brightening it up. Having that contrast within one phrase is really cool because we hear all of the colors of the stuff at the beginning, then she goes up and we get a kind of different palette of colors, and then she goes up even higher and she goes back to that more flip kind of back classical soprano type space. So we get all of it. It's like the sandwich where the middle is bright and the sides are both quieter, both because of where they are in her range. Like the bottom is a little harder to beef up and get really loud, and also just softer. It's this more gentle tone. It's really cool going back and forth, even in one phrase. And you have all of this room to do that in your songs. You can do it with one phrase, with one word. Through the entire song, you can make changes through different sections, like through the chorus and the verse. You can start playing with different tonal sets. And I think that she's doing a really good job with that. That's why whenever you turn on a Rihanna song, even if you've never heard it before, you're like, oh yeah, that's obviously Rihanna, because she does these cool things with her voice, and then you can just hear it immediately. Yeah, then it goes a little bit nastier and then flips. Gosh, I love that growl. Rihanna does an excellent job of going between these weird kind of charactery voices, either the kind of deeper kind of place that she uses a lot with her lower register, or right when she gets into her first bridge area where she starts letting it get a little bit nastier, a little bit more nasal sounding. If she just used one of those, it might start sounding a little bit funky. But because she's going back and forth, they balance each other out. And she's like dancing around this place that feels stable, but she's not spending a lot of time in that place that is completely stable. It's like she'll push it and then pull a little bit, and that gives a lot of really interesting style to her voice. She's a lot of the time letting the emotion just drive everything, where she's not trying to focus on her vocal technique and making sure that everything is in the right place. She's trusting that. The point of the vocal technique work is so that you can just trust your voice. It seems like she is able to do that a lot of the time because she's able to just dance around these hard places. Anyway, she's really, really good. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. And if you're interested in a lesson with me, go to my website, vocalease.net.